So much. So we're totally out of time now, so we'll just quickly summarize. We have heard from our distinguished panelists who are experts that the problem is not with lawyers, it is actually with the court. So we're hoping today that a lot of solutions that we're going to be getting here will be about, the court system and improving the court system. We thank you so much. We hope you have learned something from them, and you can reach out to them whenever you want. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Hill.
Thank you. I've been begged by my team members to ask you guys if you wouldn't mind taking a group photo together, please. Can I ask our audience to give us one more round of applause for the fascinating discussion that we had? Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I have to say, I love the conversation with the audience. I love the shaking of the heads and the nodding of the heads that I saw. I like the agreement. I like the disagreement. And I also like that I go home with about 3 or 4 new Yoruba sayings. I'm going to... Yeah. I like it. I like it. Sometimes we have to explain to startups why we would support 2 startups that do a similar thing, and now I'll say that the sky is very wide. There's enough room for 2 birds to fly and not hit each other. It sounds better in Yoruba, but, I'll have to try my best. Okay. All right. Now we're at one of the fun parts. I think probably for me the most fun part of the Hill Justice Accelerator journey of the year. On June 1st, we opened up our call for applications to the world, specifically to East, West, Southern Africa. These are our focus regions for this year. And we received about 487 applications. We narrowed that down to about 120 of the world's most promising justice innovations. And now we've narrowed that down to about 42 around the world. 7 of those are here in West Africa. They represent, yes, congratulations, guys. They represent 4 countries in Nigeria. We have in West Africa. We have 3 from Nigeria. We also have 1 from Benin, 1 from Ghana, and 1 from Senegal. So truly a West African regional finals. Just to remind you what you were about to hear, and I'd ask Kanan, can you hand me my laptop here? One thing I'm going to show you is what our startups will be looking at. They'll be looking at this. It'll be facing them. It'll be counting down. When I say they pitch for 4 minutes, I mean they pitch for 4 minutes. They will each have 4 minutes to give their best pitch, and if you got your program, you'll notice that one of the things that we mentioned in the program is what we look for. We look for innovative justice initiatives that can make significant social impact, ventures with a business model, and the ambition to scale, enabling themselves to become financially sustainable, and led by a motivated and strong team. So those are our 4 criteria. They'll each have 4 minutes to make their best case. Very briefly, before we invite them up, one thing I wanted to note is, again, in particularly my thanks to the Consulate General here in Lagos for having us here. But why the Consulate General in Lagos? Why here? There's plenty of event space here. So why here? Last year we were at the Landmark Center. We can always find good event spaces, but why here? One thing that we aligned with very, very closely with the Consulate General this year is because a lot of their work that's here is based on economy and trade. The human rights, of course, of the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is represented here as well. Sonia, hi, hello. No, not Sonia. Oh, Chelsea is not here, sorry. But they're based, of course, in Abuja, so why have this in Lagos? What we find in our data on the Justice Needs and Satisfaction report in Nigeria is that the top 3 concerns that we see occurring for the most people the most often are justice problems around land, justice problems around crime, justice problems around money. And specifically about money, it's about lending and borrowing, it's about buying and selling, about exchanging money. So one thing we tried to do this year, for the first year, is really focus our call for innovation in Nigeria, specifically on those money matters, on money disputes that happen between people. So one of the themes you're going to see, this doesn't apply to all of the 7, but a few of them, is that we specifically this year said, look, we have the data that says that money disputes are creating incidences of violence. They're tearing families apart. They're tearing businesses apart. They're tearing communities apart. So can you resolve disputes around money? This is, of course, where we talked to the Consulate General and said, your work on trade and economy in the area is really valuable, but if there are disputes made by business transactions, then those business transactions are actually harming people in some cases. So we align in this way. So I wanted to explain one of the themes that you're going to see. So we're going to introduce 4 justice innovations at the very beginning. We're going to take a break and hear from our wonderful keynote speaker. A question for you, are you ready to hear some justice innovation pitches? Are you ready to hear some justice innovation pitches? All right, I get some more energy. Now, these guys are a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, so I would ask you 2 favors, please. The first is when they come up on stage, can you give them a big round of applause and welcome them to the stage and give them some of your energy? And the second thing is this. When they finish their 4 minutes, and I'll cut them off, can you give them a big round of applause? And if you feel like they could be a game changer, that as they grow, they could really change the system, that they could change the way that things are done, and that make a difference for the average person on the street, I would ask you to stand up as you clap. You don't have to. You can choose 1 out of the 7 or 2 or all 7 if you want to. I think there are some game changers in here. But clap when they're done, and if you feel inspired, stand up and clap. Okay, so with our first presentation, would you mind loading up the slides for me now? Please welcome from here in Lagos, representing AfriClaim, please welcome Chibuzo Ofulwe. Chibuzo, please come up.
Let me tell you a quick story about Tony. Tony's flight to Lagos from London was delayed by over 3 hours, causing him to miss his father's funeral. At this point, he was filled with rage and frustration. However, only a few hours later, after finally arriving at his destination, he's quick to accept what had happened earlier without any form of compensation. Every day, thousands of flights are either delayed or cancelled, and millions of Tonys around the world continue to accept this unfortunate fate. So if time is our most valuable asset, why do we quickly accept when it is snatched away from us unlawfully? At AfriClaim, we believe no one's time or dream should be taken from them without their permission. That is why we have made it our mission to make sure you get paid when your flight is delayed. So here's how it works. Once a passenger is involved in a flight disruption, they can simply visit our website, www.africlaim.com, and then they fill out their flight details. And then we examine numerous data points around these details and take on the whole process from submission till payout. By doing this, we make this a quick, easy, and hassle-free process. We generate majority of our revenue from our 21% service charge on successful claims only, meaning this is compliant with a no-win, no-fee policy. So far, we've been able to generate almost 18,000 euros from 136 claims alone. We have a current cost structure that sets us at a healthy profit margin of 65%. Since 2017, we've helped over 2,500 passengers solve their flight disruptions issues in a more effective manner, a more efficient manner, by making it 5 times faster and reducing overall stress levels by over 85%. However, this is only a tiny dent on the $15 billion global market. Our goal is to reach at least 8 out of 10 disrupted passengers within the next 5 years in Nigeria alone. And this is where HEAL comes in. With a strategic investment, we'll be able to expand our educational marketing campaign while simultaneously automating internal processes to allow us to develop bots to increase our claim handling capacity. We also plan to develop strong partnerships with relevant travel bodies in order to expand our network and reach. My amazing team members, Ifeanyi Ezechuku, Tami Oladipo, Shemi Omashe, and James Duradry are easily some of the most brilliant minds in the industry. And we are supported by a network of passionate mentors in the legal and aviation industry around the world. I'll leave you with this one last quote. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. At AfriClaim, we have the strongest desire to succeed. And that's why I'm here asking for your help to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Stay up here. That's AfriClaim, our first justice innovation. So I looked to our jury that's sitting here in front, and I asked, are there any questions for AfriClaim? He was also about 20 seconds under, so good. Well done. Questions for AfriClaim? Yes,
Yes. Good job. How long ago did you start this? And what's your growth like?
Okay, so we started unofficially in 2016. It just started as an opportunity to help people out. So we found out there was a problem. We didn't really intend on making it a business at first, but we reached out to a couple of people, friends, family, and just a small network, and so many people had this problem. So we first had a Twitter account, and then we realized we needed to educate people quicker. We opened a website where you can learn almost anything about regulations surrounding your flight delays. We've had a steady growth, and we've been very self-sustainable, meaning this is the first time I'm standing in front of an audience to pitch for an investment. But we noticed that the lack of awareness is still very high. And even when you know about it, you don't believe it. But this is why we're now asking for a partnership. We need to really expand educational campaign, teach people, because if people don't know, they can't do. What you can't see, you can't
And quickly, how long does it take to process a claim on average in Nigeria?
So on average, about 3 weeks, but 3 weeks to 1 month. You understand, 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you service domestic flight misses as well, or is this just international airlines?
Okay, so right now, like I said, we have a self-sustainable model. So we've been able to focus our efforts on the best laws supporting us. So the domestic section have been a bit complicated, and we haven't had that network of people like Hill. We haven't had the support of the public, and we haven't had the resources to be able to push these cases to court to higher powers, and also we're really working hard on it. We know everything, the A to Z's of the regulation, but now we just need the support. And everyone, I'm sure, will get something from it. Let me just keep quiet.
We have time for one more question from the jury.
Thank you. Your